Alright, so let's take a look at graphing linear inequalities. Alright, so we want to graph 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. Alright, so to graph this, the first thing we want to do is graph 2x minus 3y equal 6. Change the inequality to an equal sign and graph this line first. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is solve this thing for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x to both sides, so I get negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 6, and then I'll divide everything by negative 3, and so I get y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Okay, now let's take a look at this problem. Well, we have a slope. Our slope is 2/3, and our y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Okay, remember this from earlier in the course you're taking. All right, so we get the slope and the y-intercept, and what we want to do is plot the y-intercept. So that's 0, negative 2. Okay, and then remember your slope is rise over run. So the rise is 2, so that means we go up 2, and the run is 3, so that means we go to the right 3 units. So we go up 2 and to the right 3. And there's our next point. Now we just draw our line. Okay, so this is the graph of 2x minus 3y equal 6. Okay, now we have to determine which side of the graph we shade. So to determine that, we have to pick a test point. Okay, now you can pick any point you want as long as that point is not on the line. So we can pick any point up here, or we can pick any point down here. Well, notice the line is not going through 0, 0. Anytime you can pick the point 0, 0, pick that, because it's usually the easiest one to evaluate. Alright, so I'm going to pick this point here 0, 0. And if you wanted to, you could pick 0, 1, or 0, 10,000, or you could pick 0, negative 10, or 0, negative 1,000, or you could pick 10, 100 as a point. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just try to pick something easy. Alright, so now this is our x value. This is our y value. So we're going to take these two values and plug them back in to our inequality. Okay, alright, so I have 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0 is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so this is going to be 0 minus 0, so 0 is greater than or equal to 6. And of course, we can see that this statement is false. Okay, now we chose the point above the line. We plugged it in and got a false statement. So that means we shade on the opposite side of the point. So that means we shade below. Okay. Alright, so I know this video may be long because I have 4 more examples to work, but I would encourage you to watch them all, because they're going to cover all the things that you're going to come across. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and look at example 2. Alright, so here we have x plus 2y is less than 8. Alright, so same thing as the first one. We want to take the inequality, and let's rewrite it as x plus 2y equals 8 and graph this. So I'm going to solve for y, so I subtract x to both sides, so I get 2y equals negative x plus 8, and then I'm going to divide everything by 2. So that's going to be y equals, and now the negative x over 2, that can be written as negative 1/2 x plus 4. Okay, so now let's get our slope. Our slope is negative 1/2. Now I'm going to take the negative sign and put it in the numerator, and 0, 4 is my y-intercept. And the negative sign, you could put it in denominator, it doesn't matter. We're just using it to get our other point, rise over run. Remember, if the negative's in the numerator, you go down. If the negative's in the denominator, you go to the left instead of the right. Okay. Alright, so let's plot the point 0, 4, which is right there. Okay. Now, let's use rise over run, so it's negative 1. So I go down 1 unit, and then the run is positive 2, so I go to the right 2 units, and then I draw my line. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get our test point. Okay. And once again, you can see the line is not going through 0, 0. So I'm going to choose 0, 0 as my test point. And like I said on the first problem, you can pick any number. You can pick any point as long as it's not on the line. Alright, so now, once again, this is my x, this is my y, and I'm going to plug those values back into the inequality. Okay, and so I get 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than 8. So 0 plus 0 is 0, less than 8, and you can see that this is a true statement. Okay, so I chose a point on this side of the line. It was a true statement, so that means I shade on that side of the line. And that's because it was a true statement when I plugged this point in. Oh, and I'm sorry, I messed up. Look at this. Let's see. Now, when everything's right, it's just the way I drew the line. When you draw the line, you see how this is just less than? That means it has to be a dotted line. See, in the first example, how it was or equal to, that's a solid line. If there's no or equal to, that means it's a dashed line. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's look at the third example. All right, so I have my y is greater than negative 2/3 x, so I'm going to do y equals negative 2/3 x. Okay, so my slope is equal to, and I'm going to put the negative up in the numerator, and then my y-intercept is what? Well, notice the other ones had plus something or minus something. Well, there's nothing here, so my y-intercept is 0, 0. Okay, so I'm going to plot the point 0, 0, and then rise over run, so I'll go down 2 and then to the right 3, and there's my other point. And let's not make the same mistake. Since there's no or equal to, that means it's going to be a dotted line. Okay, so there's the graph of y equals negative 2/3 x. Alright, so now I need a test point. Okay, now this time the graph is going through 0, 0. So let's pick something. Well, how about we choose the point 1, 1 right here. Okay, It's not on the line, it's above the line. Okay, so I'm going to choose the point 1, 1. So once again, this is my x, this is my y. I'm going to plug them in to the inequality. And so I get 1 is greater than negative 2/3 times 1. So 1 is greater than negative 2/3. And this is a true statement. Okay, so I chose a point on this side of the line. I got a true statement, so that means I shade on this side of the line. Okay. All right, let's take a look at, we got 2 more to go. All right, so let's graph y greater than 1. So let's change it to y equals 1. Now remember, anytime you have y equals a number, that is the graph of a horizontal line, and it will be dotted since there's no or equal to. Okay, so there's the graph of y equals 1, and now I need to choose my test point. And look, 0, 0 is not on the line, so I'll choose 0, 0. So here's my x, here's my y. I'm going to plug them into my inequality. Well, notice there's no x, so that means I just plug the y value in. Okay, so that's going to give me 0 is greater than 1. And this statement is false. Okay, so I chose my point on this side of the line. It gave me a false statement, so that means I shade on the other side. All right. Last one. All right. So I've got x less than or equal to negative 2. Okay. So let's change it to x equal negative 2. Now remember, whenever you have x equal a number, that's a vertical line. Okay. So x equal negative 2, that's going to be this line here. And it's going to be solid because it's or equal to. All right, now let's choose a test point. All right, 0, 0 is not on the line, so we'll use 0, 0. And here's my x, here's my y. Okay, well notice this one doesn't have a y value, so I'm just going to plug the x value in. So 0 less than or equal to negative 2. And this is false. Okay, so I chose my point on this side of the line. It gave me a false statement, so that means I shade on the other side. Okay. Alright, so sorry the video was so long, but I wanted to try to cover every case, and sorry about the mess up. Hope the video helped. You can watch my other videos and subscribe if you like them. Alright, thanks.